The village of Emmerdale was still shrouded in the quiet mist of early morning when the peace shattered, not by the sound of tractors or gossip, but by a scream. It came from the Woolpack's back alley, sharp and desperate, cutting through the sleepy calm like a knife. It was April Windsor. Just 12 hours earlier, she had been laughing with her friends, helping Marlon decorate the cafe for the charity bake sale. But now, trembling and wide-eyed, she was being pulled into her father's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Something had happened. Something that would change her forever. The ordeal. April had been walking home from the community center after rehearsals for the school play. The streetlights flickered, the night unusually quiet. She'd always taken the shortcut past the old mill, a place that had seen its share of dark history. But this time, she wasn't alone. A shadow moved behind her, a whisper of movement, then a voice. "Hey, April. You shouldn't be out here alone." The voice was low, unfamiliar. April froze. She turned, but before she could run, a hand reached out, gripping her arm. She screamed, kicked. The sound echoed into the night. Someone shouted in the distance, and the figure disappeared into the dark, leaving April shaking and terrified, clutching her school bag like a shield. By the time Marlon arrived, summoned by the police call, she could barely speak. All she managed was one trembling sentence. "He followed me, Dad. He knew my name." The fallout. The next morning, Emmerdale was buzzing with whispers. Belle heard from Vinny, who heard from Mandy, who told Chaz, and by midday everyone knew something terrible had happened to April. But no one knew who did it. April, meanwhile, sat at home in silence. Her once bright eyes were dulled by fear. Marlon hovered helplessly, his heart breaking every time she flinched at a knock on the door. Rona brought over soup. Patty brought comfort, but April wanted none of it. Then came the anger. At first it was small, slamming her bedroom door, snapping at her dad, but by evening the rage erupted. "Stop treating me like a child," she shouted, tears spilling down her face. "You don't understand, Dad. You can't protect me. Not anymore." Marlon stood frozen, his own tears threatening to fall. "April, please. I just want to keep you safe." "I'm not safe," she screamed. "I never will be." The words hung in the air, heavy and heartbreaking. The village reacts. That night the Woolpack filled with hushed voices and concerned faces. Kane vowed to find whoever did this. Chaz tried to keep order, but the tension was unbearable. Some villagers blamed the recent influx of strangers, others whispered darker theories. Amid the chaos, April slipped in unnoticed, her hood pulled up. She stood in the corner, listening to them talk about her, like she wasn't even there. "Poor lass, she's been through enough already," Mandy said softly. "I'm not poor," she muttered under her breath. "I'm not broken." But when she caught sight of her reflection in the mirror behind the bar, pale, hollow-eyed, and trembling, she almost didn't recognize herself. The breaking point. Later that night, she found herself standing by the river, staring into the dark water. The same path where she used to skip stones with her dad now felt foreign, tainted. Rona found her there, shivering. "You're not alone, love," Rona said softly, wrapping a coat around her. April shook her head. "Everyone keeps saying that, but they don't know what it's like to be scared of your own shadow." "You survived," Rona said, whispering. "That makes you stronger than you think." April looked up at her, tears glistening in her eyes. "Then why do I feel so angry all the time?" "Because anger means you're fighting back," Rona said gently. "Don't let the fear win." A new resolve. The next morning, April returned to the cafe. The villagers watched as she walked in, head high, jaw set. She didn't speak much, but there was fire in her eyes again. She pinned a flyer to the notice board. "Self-defense classes, open to everyone." Marlon stood behind the counter, eyes wide. "April, are you sure?" She nodded. If someone tries to scare me again, they'll regret it." And as the bell above the cafe door rang, the camera lingered on her face, a mix of fear, defiance, and fragile hope. The girl who had once been a victim was ready to fight back. Emmerdale would never be the same again.